Hi, welcome back to Permission to Organise with me, Amy, and Pro Organiser Academy. In today's episode, we're talking about what really happens when your dream decluttering business stops sparking joy and what to do about it. And look, even if that sounds a bit dramatic, maybe you do still love what you do, but it's just not quite working for you anymore in terms of how you want to spend your days, like how you want them to actually look. Because you can absolutely still help your clients transform their homes and lives, but also get to shape a business that works better around the lifestyle you actually want to create. So, for example, I normally take Fridays off to be with my daughter, Ottilie, because she doesn't go to nursery that day. And that's part of how I've designed my week around the lifestyle I actually want, right? But last week, she'd actually been away with my mum for a few days. So I worked in the morning and then collected her from my mum's on Friday afternoon, without having to check with the boss or anything like that. And then on Saturday, I took her to Didcot Railway Centre, basically this really old train station that has been turned into a bit of a museum next to the actual main, Didcot Parkway. And there were loads of old steam trains, and Paddington Bear was there, which was, of course, the only bit Ottilie really cared about. Although she typically went completely shy when it came to actually her turn to hug Paddington Bear and get the obligatory photo. And then, of course, as we were walking back, she then wanted to go and do that. Typical toddler. But anyway, it was nice just to spend some time with her that actually didn't involve, for once, any of my own decluttering at home or packing for this friggin' house move that still is dragging on. That being said, the universe is totally aligning. I know I've said this before on my Amy the Space Creator Instagram account, but everything happens for a reason. I just cannot stress it enough. It's so mad, when I think about everything that's happened. It's literally everything has happened to perfection, even though, obviously it's been very stressful. Anyway, I won't go into that now, but yes, just remember, trust the process. Everything happens for a reason. Anyway, over the weekend, after Saturday, Ottie then went to her dad's, and no surprise, I spent a lot of time working behind the scenes, but in a way that's really exciting. I mean, honestly, I find all of my work really exciting, but yes, I know I do work hard, but it's because everything I'm building is about creating more freedom, right? For me, but also for my clients, for my Pro Organiser clients and my decluttering clients as well. I love optimizing things, improving the experience and making it easier for you guys to get the results that you want without wasting months or years, honestly, figuring it all out the long way around. So while, yes, it might look like I'm glued to my iMac sometimes 24/7, the truth is I'm building systems and offers that create more freedom, more impact, and more ease. In the short term, yes, although in the short term that has required me to work a lot more, but absolutely in the long term. Everything I'm doing now is setting me up for so much freedom later on down the line. And, that's the thing about business. Whatever you're building, there's always some sort of a trade-off. And, this is why people invest in things that fast track them, right? As I've done and as maybe you have too. But that's not to say that it doesn't still take work. The other thing as well about it is you can choose, I absolutely could have chosen to have every weekend off, never work an evening. And, I would have been 2-3 years behind because the amount of stuff I've got done is ridiculous, completely ridiculous. And that's fine. I'm totally happy with that. Some people might look at me and think, absolutely no way. There's no way I would ever work that much. That sounds absolutely horrible and horrendous. And that's fine. You don't have to do that. But for me, I have wanted to do this. It's not, for me, working this much isn't, don't get me wrong, it is getting to the point now that it's getting tiring, but that's because I'm close to it, being done. But the point is, I would have rather worked my backside off that for, a shorter amount of time than to really drag it on over years and years and years and still kind of not be that much further forward in 5 years' time. No way. I've also been in a situation where I have been able to work all the evenings and all this stuff because, I haven't had a partner that I've wanted to see in the evening or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. But anyway, let me just say that I've done a lot of this so that you don't have to, so that my clients don't have to, right? Anyway, totally gone off tangent here. But the point is, creating more freedom and that ties in perfectly with today's episode. So let's actually get into it around here. So what happens when your decluttering business stops sparking joy? So for many of you, I think starting your own organising business has probably been life-changing. You know, you've left jobs that you didn't love, you wanted to be your own boss, you wanted the freedom, and you absolutely love the work, the transformations, the clients, the feeling that you get when someone looks at their home with fresh eyes and feels like an absolute weight has been lifted. Oh my God. Honestly, it's the best feeling in the world, right? Helping someone that much. And I want to be really, really clear here in this episode and everything that I'm talking about. I am not for 1 minute crucifying in-home work. Far from it. I still believe it is one of the most rewarding things you can do. And I literally just got goosebumps as I was saying that. I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved helping my decluttering and organising clients in person and home move, etc. I loved it. I loved transforming their homes and ultimately, you know, their lives and their families' lives, and seeing just the happiness and the joy and the blooming relief on their faces. Like, just, you know, I don't feel like anything compares to it. The feedback I had was sensational. And a part of me does, to be honest, still want to go back to it at some stage, because right now I'm not seeing any in-home clients at all. I do still see declutter coaching clients, but not in home. And I probably would never go back to it full time. In fact, no, I never would go back to it full time, but maybe a couple of days a month, or maybe like the odd kind of bigger job, because I love it. I do love it. And that client connection is so special, being there with the person. But for some of us, there comes a point where we realize that actually, as much as we love it, we don't want to be crawling through lofts when we're 65. You know, most of the fabulous ladies who've already joined Scale with Amy are in their 40s, 50s and 60s. And some have been organising for a really long time, others not for that long. But they're all acutely aware that they don't want to be on their knees in a garage 5 days a week forever. And, you know, they want and need another form of income inside the same business that they absolutely adore, right? Not just quitting and going off and doing something else that actually they don't love as much. And that's amazing. That is so exciting and mind-blowing thing about this. And this is also for you, though, if you are very new to decluttering and maybe you haven't even worked with in-home clients yet, but you specifically want to build an online business within the decluttering industry. That's absolutely fine. There's no criteria that you have to have worked with clients in home before. You're allowed to decide that from day one that you want scalability and flexibility. One of the ladies inside, she did just that. You know, she actually decided after she'd done some training and done Pro Organizer Business Blueprint with me that actually she really just wanted the online business side of it. And that's great. You know, you're allowed to have that. But just, you know, I just wanted to make it really clear, though, that if you're an aspiring organizer who wants to set up properly from scratch, like legally, practically, technically, and get fully booked with in-home clients, then you need Pro Organizer Business Blueprint. Scale with Amy is not a program to teach you how to set up your in-home business and or how to get fully booked with in-home clients. I mean, I'm not going to lie, everything that I teach you in there will absolutely help you to get fully booked with in-home clients, but it's not that specifically. I'm not teaching you that specifically. So this is about building the scalable branch of your business so that you can work from anywhere in the world. You can leverage your time and you can make more money without relying solely on driving to clients' homes and working with them in home. So let me just share a bit more of my story here because it matters. I may have said some of this in the previous episode, but I started my decluttering business because I genuinely love helping people. Like, I love all things decluttering, organizing, and everything to do with homes. And I've had such a huge life transformation myself that I am absolutely obsessed with helping other women improve their lives through this work. You know, better mental health, relationships, more environmentally friendly choices, all of that stuff, and actually becoming the highest version of themselves. And very naturally, my decluttering business actually kind of moved more into the coaching side, like the declutter coaching, sort of life coaching, like the real transformational. And so the virtual side made a lot of sense to me. And to do that, I don't need to be with them in person. And also, I wanted to be my own boss originally, right? I've always hated being an employee. I don't like being told what to do. Not in a don't listen way. Like, I always listen to my coach and to people who know more about something than I do. Like, God, I love learning. So it's not about that. But employment, just isn't my vibe, especially when someone who actually, doesn't know as much as you is trying to tell you what to do. That's not the one. I'm also a bit of a control freak, if you hadn't noticed. I like doing what I do, and I wanted the ultimate freedom. I didn't want a boss telling me how much I could earn or what days I could have off or if I was allowed to leave early or take a specific holiday. Like, I wanted complete freedom and control. And I did get that in my decluttering business in the Space Creator when I started it. I loved it. But after a little while, I realised that actually I still wanted more freedom. And the freedom thing is actually quite deep rooted. It's not just like a normal, like, oh, I just want more freedom. It's like, there's a whole thing surrounding that. But that's way too much to go into here. This is not a therapy session. But a big moment for me was also randomly, this is all going to tie in, but was actually finding a gym that I really loved. After years of trying so many different gyms, of moving around various different places through all the different houses that I was like renovating, living through, I found one that was actually not scary. Yay, finally. And had classes that I wanted to go to, but loads of them were slap bang in the middle of the day. And I don't like exercising in the evening. Personally, it's just like not ideal for me. And also when I had my daughter in 2022, evenings became impossible anyway, because my partner at the time worked every evening, so I couldn't do anything in the evenings. And now I'm single and I still can't do anything in the evenings because I have my daughter. So I'd have days where I had like a full in-home client session booked and it clashed with the class that I really wanted to go to. And as time went on, I started to get a bit resentful, like not to my client at all, but just a bit like, oh, I really want to go to this gym class. Like, I've finally done this. So, I'm finally starting to feel better about myself, like losing weight and, actually kind of prioritizing my health. And I didn't want to feel like that about my own business and especially about my clients. And so the first thing I started to change was my diary. And none of this happened overnight, by the way. Like, this was all a process. But I started, little things like putting my gym classes into my Google business work calendar. And I literally run my entire life around my Google calendar. Everything is in there, not just like work stuff. And yeah, so I would put them into my calendar and I'd block them out, like non-negotiable. They'd be marked as busy so clients couldn't book into them or whatever. And then I only offered full day sessions on the days that I didn't have the classes. So I would put all the classes that I wanted to go to, but I would have like a couple of days like non-negotiable, like I have to go to body pump, but Pilates, okay, maybe I don't have to go to that one. So yeah, it was like little things, but it planted the seed that actually this is my business. I can run it how I want. And the other big one, and this comes up so much, like not just with me, with my clients as well, but like the scarcity voice that says, oh, I have to bend everything around my clients or I'll lose the booking or they'll go and find someone else. And most of the time, clients will fit around you. I am not saying never to be flexible. I am very flexible a lot of the time. Like, if my coaching clients now, if there's a problem, like I will always try to do what I can to fit them in. If something's happened or if I have to move or, whatever. So I'm not saying don't be flexible ever, but I'm saying always go with the option that suits you the best first, right? Because like, why not? Otherwise, what's the point? You've built a business, and if you're just going to recreate a job that you have no control over, why? Go and get a job. Do you know what I mean? So quite soon into my business, I also started looking into online offers like digital, virtual, because I knew that I wanted a business that could help a lot of people. And this is also why I've put a lot of work and effort into like growing my social accounts as well and having podcasts and stuff, even if it's not actually been efficient necessarily in terms of like revenue or whatever, but because I've always wanted to put out a lot of content to help a lot of people. I think I knew that like quite early on, but I also knew early on that I didn't want to 100% trade all of my time for money. Like I knew that I wanted to create something bigger. And I'm pretty sure my first online decluttering and organizing course for Space Creator was actually in year one, like maybe year two, I can't remember now, but I created that and then from there it just grew. And I've learned so much. Like I've now nailed a framework for professional organisers specifically, but to be fair, anyone who is a service provider, but obviously this is tailored to professional organisers, to create a scalable branch of their business, the online part or like the virtual part. And I am beyond excited to launch it. It's called Scale with Amy. You've probably heard me talking about it. And this is literally 5 years or more of trial and error, mistakes, failures, successes, a shitload of money, and just more lessons probably. distilled into the most optimized 12-week framework to help you build something that's actually aligned to you, to your lifestyle, your skills, your income, and your goals, and the exact person that you actually want to help. And here's where I'm going to be a bit direct, right? A lot of the time, we tend to look at what other people are doing, and then we kind of think, oh, okay, I need to do something similar. So, not like literally copying, but like we see, I see this constantly, like, oh, okay, everyone's got a declutter checklist freebie. And, so we just do that. And look, fine, like that's pretty standard. I had one as well. Like, I feel like we've all got one. And that's great. And it's fine if you're just doing that as like a really basic kind of standard like lead magnet freebie, especially if you're just starting like your email list or something and you just want something simple. And look, like I do recommend starting with something simple if you're just starting with email marketing. But if you really want to sell something, like whatever you're creating, a group program or like a declutter coaching program one-to-one, or even your in-home offers, whatever it is, you actually need an aligned, optimized lead magnet that actually attracts the expansive clients and customers for your offer. And there's a lot more that goes into creating a scalable offer than you realize when you first start. Like, there are so many moving parts. Like, I mean, oh my God, like all the things that I've just been doing, to kind of transfer all of my offers from one website to another and optimize them, and like the funnels and the email stuff that, all of it that goes into it, like the thank you pages, the main page, the opt-in, oh my God, it's a lot. There's a lot of different things and you just don't know it. You just don't realize it. You see someone on Instagram and it's like, oh yeah, you do this course, and you just have no idea the stuff that goes into it back end. It's wild. There are just so many different aspects to it. And this is precisely why so many organizers make an offer, launch it once, or don't even launch it, but just like tell people about it on Instagram, and it flops and they feel devastated. And, I know I mentioned this last week, but it's horrible. And it's not your fault. If you don't know how to do it properly, it's very unlikely that it'll sell well because you just don't know. It's not, even if there wasn't so much noise on the internet, like, it's still not easy to get someone to buy something without doing it in a very specific way. And that's not to mention how much noise there is online now. People are absolutely overwhelmed in all of these different things that they're marketed to, that all these ads that come up on Instagram, so much going on. And so, if you're not absolutely nailing it, you're really going to struggle. Sales aren't a one-day event. Selling is literally a compound effect of tons and tons of tiny actions over time to warm up your audience and or grow your audience if you need to do that as well. If you post once or, even 5 times and just hope, well, that's when the offers flop. And I want to save you from that awful pain of spending weeks or months creating something only for it to sell once or not even at all. It's grim. I've been there. And the problem is, it's not just the fact that, oh my God, I put all this work in and it didn't sell. It's the confidence knock that you get after that. Because if you've not got your mindset in the right place and that happens to you, that can put you back then weeks because you think, oh God, no, everyone, this offer was rubbish. And then you start thinking that everyone hates you. And then you start thinking that everyone else is better than you and everyone else is so much more successful. And oh my God, you get into this ridiculous spiral. And then it puts you off from ever doing anything again like that. Or, for weeks and months, and you just carry on going back to the grind. And then, maybe one day it will happen. And actually, you just need to bite the bullet and just go for something that's going to really help you set you up for success. So, what do we do inside Scale with Amy? So we find the aligned, scalable idea. Okay, so not a copy and paste, not just a random course that someone else is doing. It needs to fit your lifestyle, skills, and your income goals, and also who you want to help. Plan it and build it without any faff. So when I'm talking about planning, again, there's so much that goes into this. One of the big mistakes that people make when they create an offer is they just go, okay, I just want to create this and then I'm going to do it. And they have no idea who it's for. They have no idea of the full transformation. They have no idea of the, specifically what the problem is that they're trying to solve. And then it's dead from the start. It's not going to happen if you don't get that bit right. And that is, we spend a lot of time inside Scale with Amy doing that bit so that it's actually right from the start, so that then the rest of the weeks are actually, they have a point to them. And we also deal with all the tech and everything so that it actually runs and it's easy for you. We create all of your marketing around it. So you've got warm leads ready to buy. We map out your full launch in a way that suits you. So again, there's so many different ways to launch, like live conversion events, challenges, masterclass, whatever fits your energy and audience. And again, it's not just about what you want to do. It's about what's going to be the most effective for the size of audience that you've got, the email list, all the different things, and this is why it's so beneficial doing it with me, because obviously I've done it within the industry, so I get it, but also because this is a small group and because I actually care and I over deliver. If you come to me and you ask a question in one of the live calls and say, I'm thinking about doing this, I will be completely honest with you, and I will say, look, if I think it's going to work, great. But if I don't think it is, I will say, look, I would probably suggest doing this, because actually, yes, that might be the less scary option, but it's not going to get you the results that you want. I've done every single offer and I've launched it in every single way, and I know what works and I know what doesn't for specific offers. So, that's the benefit of doing this and not just doing like some random online course that kind of teaches you the same thing, or from some generic online business owner that doesn't specialize in decluttering and professional organizing, or equally from someone who's maybe like a much bigger company than me, and maybe they teach you how to create something that's scalable, but actually there's like hundreds of people inside the program. You're just never ever going to get the high touch help. So yeah, all of that. And then also how to sell it properly. So not I'll just announce it once on Instagram and hope. That is not a good approach. We set up the touch points and that really compound into yeses, and like no-brainer yeses as well. And to make it so much easier, you get all of my tutorials, templates, swipe copy for like emails. So if you think, how the hell do I write an email? A lot of clients say to me that my emails make them want to hire me again, and they're already working with me. Content plans, launch systems, so you're not guessing, like Googling or Frankensteining your business together from random PDFs, plus my strategy, my actual brain on your work. So you're not stuck wondering if your idea or lead magnet or sales page will actually convert. And then we've also, on this new platform that I'm moving to, which is amazing, so much better than the last one that I thought was going to be good. The community aspect is brilliant, and there's like challenges and all sorts of different things. It's so good. So you can chat with other people and you can get feedback from other organisers, and yes, it's very exciting. So it's for experienced organisers who want to slow down on the in-home days and still grow, and also the organisers who know that they want to build online from day one, right, without necessarily seeing in-home clients. But it's not for, as I said, brand new organisers who still need to set up their in-home business properly and want to get fully booked with in-home clients. You need either Pro Organizer Business Blueprint if you're brand new, and I'll help you there. We're starting the next round in September as well. I've got 2 group programs going on in September, so I can help you there. And if you are an existing professional organizer, you don't want to create anything scalable, but you do want to get fully booked, then one-to-one coaching or a one-off business strategy session will be your best option. If you really need the accountability and kind of more hand-holding, and you really want to like properly level up and actually become the highest version of yourself, then one-to-one coaching is where it's at. And here's the yay for the big news. Scale with Amy officially opens today, if you're listening on Monday, but only for those of you who are on the wait list. So you'll get an email with your private link to join and, to find out all the information. It's all there for you on the page, all the details, like bonuses, everything that you need to make a decision. It's all on there. But obviously, if you have a question, feel free to email me. I'm happy to help. And let me just say this, the women who jumped in early, also, I say women in Pro Organizer Academy because it is mostly women, but if you're a guy, if you're a Pro Organizer guy and you're listening, you're also welcome to join. The ladies who are in at the moment, like when they joined back in the really, really super early pre-sale that I did a couple of months ago, were almost all my existing clients, because they know the transformation with working with me is real. They know that I over deliver every single time, and they're always shocked about all the stuff that's included and what they got out of it. And, I'm so excited. The ladies are just so incredible. They're ambitious, driven, raring to go. They've been messaging me. I cannot wait to get started with them. So if you're on the wait list, don't sit on this. If you're thinking, oh, yes, this is it, just go for it. Last time, 5 spaces went literally within 72 hours, and 4 of those were gone in the first, I think, 3 or 4 hours. This time, for this first beta round, there's only 15 spaces, and like I said, 6 are already gone. So that means there are 9 left, and they will probably go quickly. This is the first round, and it is the beta launch, so it will never be this price again. You can join from today if you're on the wait list with £500 off. And if you're listening and you're not on the wait list, don't worry, doors open to everyone else on Wednesday the 20th in 2 days' time. But waitlisters, of course, you get first dibs. So check your inbox and do not miss your chance. Because the truth is, I've literally spent 5 years and multiple tens of thousands of pounds figuring all this out the long way so that you don't have to. I invest myself also in high-level coaching. The amount of stuff that I've learned that you're getting access to, just for coaching, I've spent 30 grand on coaching, and that I'm not saying like, oh, look at me. I'm saying I care so much about not just my success, but the success of my clients, that I am constantly investing in myself to improve. And this is why I get the results, because I do this. I don't want to be wasting my life doing everything the long way around. I want to be fast tracking. I want to be improving. I want to be helping my clients to get the best results. And all of that filters down through me to them. They're getting access to like high level knowledge for a fraction of the price. What you're getting inside Scale with Amy is the streamlined, optimized version that actually works, that makes you money, that creates you more time. It is your shortcut to building the scalable branch of your business that gives you all of that freedom, the income, and the impact still without crawling around lofts at 65. So my final encouragement for today, if your business has stopped sparking joy, you do not need to burn the whole thing down. You might just need to evolve it. Let it grow with you. Allow it. Give yourself the freedom and, the impact and the time that you wanted when you started this in the first place. And as always, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please come and tell me on Instagram. Send me a DM to @ProOrganiserAcademy or tag me in your stories with your biggest takeaway. I'd love to hear what you learned, your biggest aha moment, and I'll reshare it. And I will see you in the next episode of Permission to Organise. Have a gorgeous week.